All right, kids, another grammar video. Today, we're going to be talking about the present perfect simple. It's not simple. It's quite difficult. My students, you guys know, we studied this yesterday, and I know a lot of you were pretty confused. So here's a quick video for you guys. So have a look on the whiteboard. I'm going to go through 5 reasons why we use present perfect. There's more, but today we're going to talk about 5. So again, any questions, comment below. All right, so let's start with number 1 here. And if you can't see me, that's okay, because this is more important. All right, so this is kind of the main thing, the main reason why we use present perfect. We want to talk about our life experience. So I have been, I have done, I have eaten. So anytime that I want to talk about something that I have done in my life, an experience that I have had, we're going to use the present perfect, okay? So let's look at just a few examples. So the first example here is a positive and a negative, right? So I have been to China, but I haven't been to Mexico. I have been to China, but I haven't been to Mexico. So really important, we really have to focus on this have or has plus the past participle. So I have been to China, but I haven't been to Mexico. So here's a positive sentence, here's a negative sentence. So I have been to China. I have that experience. I went to China and I came back, right? So important here. I don't say I have been to China last year. I have been to China in 2018. No, with present perfect, really, really important. We can't say when the experience happened. I have eaten sushi. I have tried beer, right? I don't say when, right? If I want to say when, in that case, we use the past simple. So I can just say, I went to China last year. I went to China in 2016. So anytime that we see the time, we see when. And these are the key words, when, ago. I went to China 2 years ago, right? I can't say I have been to China 2 years ago. No, we don't use ago with the present perfect. Okay, so these are kind of some key words. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Those words we use with present perfect, but we don't use when, ago, last, anything like that with present perfect. All right, so then I can ask a question. I can ask you about your experience. I can say, have you ever watched Titanic? Have you ever watched Titanic? So you would say, yes, I have, or no, I haven't. Yes, I have. No, I haven't. Have you ever been to China? Have you ever been to Mexico? All right, I'm using ever here just to emphasize that I'm talking about experience, just to emphasize, but it's not necessary. I can say, have you watched Titanic? No problem. No problem. So I don't need to use ever. Ever just gives us some extra information and it emphasizes that I'm asking you about your experience. Okay, so this is kind of the main reason why we use this, why we use present perfect simple. So one mistake that my students often make, and this is really, really important, we ask, oh, have you been to China? Yes, I have. And then usually the third question is going to be past simple. So when did you go? Where did you go? What time did you go? Who did you go with? So the experience part is just usually the first question and the first answer. Have you been to China? Yes, I have. Then we're going to switch to talk about when. So we must use past simple. When did you go? Who did you go with? Where did you go? Which city did you visit, right? All of those are going to be specific because we want to talk about when. We want to ask about the time, okay? So present perfect life experience, that's number 1. Number 2, I'm going to put a little star there because I'm an American English speaker from Canada, but I live in Singapore, so I don't know what I speak anymore, but there's British English, there's American English. It's all inside my brain. Yes, I get confused too. So, but this is going to be recently completed one-time actions. Recently completed one-time actions. So if you're an American English student and you're studying American English, this will sound a little bit strange for you. But if a British person or a British speaker, English speaker, went to the hospital, they would say, I have broken my arm. Ah, doctor, I've broken my arm, right? That's my British accent. It's pretty good, right? I have broken my arm. Whereas in American English, we would just say, I broke my arm, because it's finished. I broke my arm. Can you fix it for me? But again, an American or a British person would say, I have broken my arm. So it's really, really important that we can see the result of the finished action. I can see the broken arm, right? I can see the broken arm. If I say, I have just run 5 kilometers, I have just run 5 kilometers, I can see the result. Maybe I'm sweating, I'm wearing my running clothes, my running shoes, I'm drinking some water, I'm really tired. We can see the result of this action, even though I'm finished running. I stopped running, but I would say I have just run 5 kilometers. That is our recently completed one-time action or finished action, okay? So the wording is a little bit strange. And then I can add just to say that it was a short time ago. I have just run, or I have just finished a 5-kilometer run. I have just broken my arm is okay. Oh, I have just broken my arm short time ago. All right, so here, recently completed one-time action, or we're using just to say that something happened a short time ago, or something has happened a short time ago. All right, so the next word, number 3, we're going to use yet. And yet means that we expect something to happen soon. We expect something is going to happen soon. So if my students, you guys have homework and it's due tomorrow, I can ask you, have you finished your homework yet? Have you finished your homework? Okay. Have you finished your homework yet? So yet, because our class is tomorrow, because my students are coming to class tomorrow, I expect them to finish their homework. I expect them to finish their homework soon. I expect them to finish before class, right? Or maybe my daughter, 7 years old, super cute, and she will say, Daddy, can I watch TV? And I would say, have you finished your homework yet? So what I mean is I want her to finish her homework before she watches TV. Finish homework first, then watch TV, okay? And for example, oh, I'm really hungry, it's 3 p.m., I haven't eaten lunch yet, okay? But I expect to eat lunch soon. I haven't eaten lunch yet, I expect to eat lunch soon. Okay, so that is yet, okay? We expect something to happen soon. Then we use already. If you're a Chinese student, already doesn't mean what you think it means. So I can go into that a little bit later. But with already, something happened before I expected. So it's kind of the opposite of yet, right? Same thing. I can say, honey, to my daughter, I can say, have you finished your homework yet? She says, yes, I have already finished it. Whoa, I'm surprised. She finished before I expected. She finished before I expected. Or this example here, would you like a coffee? No, I've already had one. Would you like a coffee? No, I've already had one. Wow, okay. I'm surprised it happened before I expected, or before I thought, or before I imagined, okay? So these are 3 very common words, just, yet, and already. These words are often used with present perfect simple. Okay, and the last one, and one of the most important ones, is unfinished states or unfinished actions, but actually with unfinished actions we use present perfect continuous. That video will be coming soon. But I can say I have had a cat for 6 months. So remember, state verbs are not actions. These are feelings like love, hate, or possession, like have. I have a pen. There's no action there. So with present perfect simple, we use this to talk about unfinished states. I have had a cat for 6 months. Okay, so I bought the cat 6 months ago. I still have the cat, so I have had a cat for 6 months. It's not finished. So if we look at 6 months, okay, so now as of taping, this is March, right? So I can say that I bought the cat in September. Okay, I think that's 6 months, right? So I bought the cat in September. Now is March. So I have had the cat for 6 months. And it's unfinished. So this is also a really, really common way to talk about the present perfect simple. We use that for unfinished states. I have lived in Singapore for 15 years. It's a really long time, but I came to Singapore 15 years ago. I still live in Singapore. Tomorrow I'm going to live in Singapore. So we take the past and the present and we put it together. That is kind of the present perfect simple. Okay, and just last thing, with present perfect, you're gonna see these keywords this week, this month, this year, today, this morning, all day, all week. We're kind of gonna see these words again and again and again with present perfect simple, right? So I have had, I can say unfinished state, I have had 3 cups of coffee today. Now I don't say I had 3 cups of coffee because today is not finished. Maybe I will have 4 cups of coffee. Maybe I will have 5 cups of coffee. I don't know, depends how tired I am. So that is it for present perfect simple, which is not simple, it's not easy, but if you have any questions, please comment below. If you want to see the next video, which is present perfect continuous, just wait, subscribe, and we'll go from there. So thanks again for watching, and I hope you have a really, really nice day, and tell me about your experiences in the comment box below. All right.